President Trump is in Florida for another working weekend where he is up tweeting some pretty serious allegations. NBC's Casey Hunt is in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Casey, what is he saying this morning?
Hi, Dara. These are potentially explosive new allegations from President Trump. He is accusing the Obama administration of wiretapping his phones in the days leading up to the presidential election. So he is still walking through this. The most recent one just 5 minutes ago, but it's been a series. I'll start with the first one. He says, terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. He calls it McCarthyism. He goes on, continuing to say that, question, is it legal for a sitting president to be wiretapping a race for president prior to an election? Turned down by a court earlier, a new low. I bet a good lawyer could make a great case out of the fact that President Obama was tapping my phones in October just prior to the election. And in the most recent one, he says, how low has President Obama gone to tap my phones during the very sacred election process? This is Nixon/Watergate. Now, we do not know where these explosive allegations are coming from. There does not appear to be something that he is reacting to, although we are still obviously looking for that. We've also reached out to former Obama administration officials to ask about this and to try to get to the bottom of just what the president is referring to. Now, in something like this, it's likely, and he mentioned the courts in his tweet, when the government wiretaps phones, they typically have to get what's called a FISA warrant to surveil. And so it could be that he is referring to an attempt to get a warrant that maybe was denied for some reason. But again, I have to emphasize, we do not know what it is that President Trump is referring to here. Of course, as the President of the United States, he receives daily classified briefings and would have access to information from the intelligence community that's not available to most members of Congress and obviously not available to the general public. So this story, as we've been saying, unfolding just in the last few minutes. So we are going to get back to work to figure out exactly what else we can tell you about what's going on here. Dara.
Casey, thank you. We'll let you go do that, and we'll hopefully have you back on in a few. Thank you so much. Joining me now, Jonathan Allen, roll call columnist and co-author of HRC, and MSNBC's Jane Tim. So here we're talking about these tweets that President Trump is already up tweeting about. Do you think there's something behind these tweets, Jonathan?
I have no idea. Obviously, President Trump would have access to that information internally if it were true, if there were wiretaps being put on Trump Tower. At the same time, it would be odd to say something about it publicly. There's no legal jeopardy probably for the president in doing that because he can declassify information whenever he wants. But it would be very odd to talk about government secrets like that if it were true.
And these are pretty serious allegations. Is this just possibly another way of diffusing what's actually going on with the Russia investigations? Jane, what do you think?
He absolutely seems keen to push this onto Obama, to blame it on other people. One of his tweets said, you know, the ambassador that Sessions met with had been at the White House 22 times. Well, of course he'd been at the White House quite a bit. He is the ambassador from a very large nation, speaking with another very large nation of which he has posted at. I mean, he seems to want to push this on. Trump does very well in a campaign-like setting where he's, you know, going against someone else who he's lobbying against and saying, that guy did worse and we're the real winners here. And he's struggling here to tour that because he's the president. You know, he can't have this constant campaign battle. You see him trying to make it with the media. You see him trying to make it with Obama, even though Obama is, by all accounts, kite surfing these days. But right now, he needs to actually talk about his agenda. We're in the first 100 days. This is when people usually get a lot of stuff done, and instead we're talking about Russia continuously. And Trump is not changing the subject. He's battling. He's being combative. This is a president who does not want to shy down or say, you know, maybe we didn't handle this the best way. Let's move forward with our agenda and put this to the side.
Okay, Jane, Jonathan, stay with us. Right now, though, we're going to move on for a bit. Is the Trump-Russia connection a nothing burger? And what does that mean?